What's up? I'm Grizz. Welcome. Link Click, episode 2. Absolutely loved the first episode. So excited to see kind of where we're getting into here and just kind of learning more about, I guess, the goal and the direction that we're planning to take this show, but the goal of like the characters and stuff involved and why exactly they're going about the certain things that they're doing. Just excited to see kind of how they continue to take this. Last week just felt like such a breath of fresh air in a way of like something unique and different that I haven't really experienced. One, because of the type of story it is, but just the overall direction of the show, whether it be the art style, the way that it flowed and transitioned from scene to scene, the progression of the music involved, everything was so unique to me. Like it just felt different, and I really like that. So I'm excited to see kind of where we're gonna head from here. If you like it all, hit that like and subscribe to me a lot. To me, feel free to stick around for the discussion. Please leave any comments about this episode or this series. Let's get going though. Episode 2. Special seasoning recipe.
一个负责前台管理，一个负责后台厨房。合伙超过10年，一直都很默契。
Ah.
所以
Partners in the business sense, or
他会背叛我，另立山头。
ah,
着急忙慌的想要夺回秘方。好了，
she's getting kind of fucked over. Okay,
解释得很到位。
that sounds about right.
你有什么要问的吗？
So we just take on jobs from anything to fix things? Like we don't have purpose? Also, I said before, I'm going to keep reiterating this so people know, I'm not going to remember names. I'll try and make an effort, but it's going to be kind of hard. So I'm just going to call them by hair color and stuff. You're going to have to deal with it. Sorry. This OP's so good, too. It's so cool visually, but it's like,
跟你说说，那么多年的合伙人，
why would they suddenly, yeah.
是不是
Gotta be a reason, bro.
办事就好，来龙去脉，不用你操心。
Yeah, that's what kind of screwed Buddy. Well, he doesn't even know what happened, but yeah, they almost messed him up. So we shouldn't worry too much about this.
天一言不合，是不是也会分崩离析啊？
Or Shadow. We already have,
胆
and
敢
we
背着我
yeah.
搞些阴谋诡计，就是看我庐山升龙霸！你出拳，我出步。
Now we got a jokester over here.
原来你比我
Just presents himself in a different way.
今天是开张第一天，就像是我们新婚第一晚，以后每年都要在此时此地留。可算忙完了。我说，就算结
But
婚
he's got to be a good actor to be doing all
有
this.
比他说今晚是新婚，那现在岂不该？跟你开玩笑的。
Here we go. The big moment. It's gonna be like some insane shit. Ooh. Fuck, bro. I mean, I knew it wasn't gonna be this easy, but damn.
来了来了。
I feel like it's almost like a foreshadow of like what's gonna occur between these two at some point. And the differences of the way that they want to operate and do things, and they're gonna cause problems as a result.
小姑娘就找个好人嫁了得了，开店这么辛苦，省省力气吧。啊，
女人怎么了？女人有手有脚有头脑，男人没羞没臊没节操。这些货，是个男人就给我搬进去，你是不是？
You want to be such a man, you fucking do this.
凑合做了一碗，快吃吧。那你呢？
We
我
gotta
的乐
share.
趣
Nah,
就是
nah,
欣
nah.
赏你吃面时的幸福表情。
I buy that. Yeah, I buy that though. Lots of people are like that actually.
我们干脆就把这碗面列为镇馆之宝，怎么样？好啊，就叫女寝那一碗。
这面的汤头是加了什么呀？
Why is it so good? Yeah.
都特别甘甜。如果你尝不到，实在可惜哦。
Oh my god. Settle down there. So I do wonder too, they showed Buddy holding every one of the pictures. So I do wonder if he has the ability to, while they're in this moment here of like what's kind of occurring, if he also has the ability to kind of flash between and use whatever he can observe through the other ones to kind of help him pick up on clues and stuff and things to use to kind of direct and guide us in the situation. Even if that's even useful, I don't know, but it's something else on my mind.
画下一张吧。
你们的女寝那一晚一夜爆红，请问您有何感想？
其实也没太多想法。
Oh, okay, so
后
we're
面本来
just
就是我个人
gonna
兴趣，并且我相信
we're just gonna flash through all of them. So last time he wasn't able to specifically because they only had one and it had to be done in this exact moment. This one they can use a variety of them and go through them. That's cool.
就到此为止吧，之后的步骤就不方便透露了。
还想捞个独家爆料呢。
啊，又扑空一次。
喏，再接再厉。
我们今晚争取
So we're not limited, it appears, to what we can do or how many we can go through.
余夏，你有多久没回老家了？好多年了吧，我也记不清了。
Wow.
生意太忙，回不去了。
这几碗都是研发的新品，我们从全国挑了不同地域的风味，挨个试了一遍。
Getting older.
做什么好吃的？
Yeah, not in comparison to what you've been having though.
就真解不开锅了。将就着吃吧。
老板，您别试了，一气儿吃那么多碗，太伤身子。
不行，既然要在全国开连锁，就必须把产品线扩大。下一碗。
So it turned into a dispute of one person trying to grow massively in a business and the other realistically just wanted to do things to see smiles and happiness on other people's face, but didn't care as much for the wealth and that sort of thing.
那我辛苦建立起的连锁品牌，就付之一炬了。
Yeah.
你都盯着这最后一张照片看半天了，能不能行了？
不行，这张一点机会都没有，放弃吧。
We gotta
虽然
try.
你看不到希望，但也不代表不存在。
Optimistic. I fucks with it. Alright, move along. He's like, yeah, I appreciate that. And this is where we find something.
本来说好每年都要拍一张的，没想到时隔10多年，才拍了第2张。
Wow.
我要让它成为最后一张，好吗？
It wound up being as well. Why is he with
原来
her
这张照
this
片
time?
是林真拍的。
Okay.
但可惜的是，12小时内都没什么有价值的线索。
林真，
So that was the dispute, basically. Because you can't change somebody's dream like that. Right. She wants to just live out doing what she loves. That's not what she... You're pushing your ideals onto somebody else. And your dreams and everything. Right. Right. Yeah, no. Right. Perfect. Essentially, yeah. No. And that's why she won't. Driven by so much greed of needing something else.
你准备去哪儿？
She's gonna separate herself here.
回到最初，
I'm gonna start on my own
重
here.
新开始。
Right. Our paths no longer align. There's no point for us to stay. It's such a hard route for somebody to take, too. She's probably felt trapped for years now. That's why I said, wow, what are we going to do then? How do we direct this? I guess we could just play a hopelessness route, right? This didn't happen, or like nothing we could do. Sorry, we failed, you know? But I don't think we're gonna play like that. Tap through the memories, I guess. That's essentially what he's doing here. What are these? Like train tickets or something. So we can gain a hint as to where she went and maybe try and allow them to reconnect with themselves in some sort of way. The fragrant flower. Mmm. So that's where she's... Okay, cool. There's always something. Mm-hmm. Right. Not a big place, right? Wow. I don't like this though. Because this lady was such a fucking bitch. So to give her right to help her pisses me off, but I know it's just their job. I guess we can make it on our own now, right? I mean, we know how it's made now, right? Oh, we found another. To when it actually was. This is when they first made it, right? They shared it, yep. We're gonna find something here that we shouldn't. Wow.
后我们在学校隔壁开个小面馆倒是挺好的。
喂，卢光，我该答应还是不答应啊？
He's like, I'm not helping. I don't want to do this.
开店这种肯定赔，我们就应该搞智能化管理，最好再配款 APP。APP。
That's why she went the route that she did.
不，一起开店也挺好的。
不，一起开店也挺好的。小小的，每年做半年歇半年，多开
And
心
how
啊！
that changed. How she changed so much.
我爸妈硬是要我从老家背了一堆土特产来学校。
From her home. That's why she cracked up so much about it. She should have known.
花草磨成的粉撒在饭菜里。
That's why she said in the first clue, you should have known. Or it's don't act like you don't know. It was you who presented it to us.
他们说香花草的味道能唤醒人最美好的记忆。
And then always asking about going back home.
真好闻。
Finally, this time it looks like she's gonna go back home. I wonder if she'll find her friend here having a new shop in this place. Back to the roots, in a sense. I'm gonna have to mute this, aren't I? All the music. If it's muted, sorry. Wow.
来尝尝我这复刻版的南秦那一碗味道如何？
你要是敢把照相馆改成面馆，我立马走人。
哎喂，你拿走一碗，我俩咋办？
Oh no. I feel like something's fucking. Oh, they're left having it. Yeah. This shit is great. I don't. That's the only way to really put it. This is a fantastic way for them to kind of do it. And it tells so much. This episode feels so much more straightforward in the sense that we didn't end in a tragic way. We didn't end changing things, right? But that's so telling to me of the directions that we plan to take here. The direction that presents itself, showing that this is a guess, all by the way, that the idea that you can probably have situations within this field that they're in where if they make changes to the past, similar to how we saw in the first one with him sending the text to the parents, right? These can alter the things that happen in the present timeline in a way. And it causes tragedy. It can result in that if you don't do your job properly. Reasons for the white-haired guy being like, hey, don't change anything. You cannot mess with this, like at all costs, right? This episode we see here, it doesn't appear that they change anything along the way. They just kind of do their job, let everything play out how it should, and everything ends kind of happily by the end. It's really interesting to see. So it all falls on them. This is assuming that it's going to follow this formula, and it wasn't just like an unlucky thing that happened in the first one, but it's one of those, like, if he doesn't follow it to a T in a way, we could end up really fucking up other people's lives as a result. And he'll never really know that because he doesn't go out of his way to figure these things out, right? Such as his partner ended up doing last week, figuring out exactly what goes on and seeing the consequences, I guess, that came as a result of the other girl. Beautifully done. I think it's so good. And I think the way that they wrote it was so special in a way. It really shows to me that we can have things that they could have went very simplistic in the route of just being like, oh, there wasn't really a secret recipe all along. It was literally pretty standard, but it was just the bond that you had with this other person that made it seem like it, right? Like the simple, what's the example everyone uses? Like love being the reason for something tasting better in a way or something, you know what I mean? Like everybody's like, oh, that's the secret ingredient in this. That's not the case though. We don't have to go a route like that. We don't have to go a route where it's just, oh, because you were enjoying it with me, it ended up tasting better or something, you know? Like we didn't have to present things that way. We were able to present it in a way that actually makes sense and really connects back to the beginning of the route that we displayed and told this story off, which I think was a brilliant way of doing it, showcasing early on, asking questions or talking about the college days, you know, them being together in university and everything, and then also discussing things like, oh, have you gone back home, have you done any of this, and then showing us like subtle things at the beginning when we grab the ingredient, being like, oh, what is that, being like, yeah, funny, you already know, type of thing. Like not even just being like, oh, you know the recipe so you should know this, but one, it's literally as obvious as you literally are the one who gave this to me in a way, or you're the one who created this. It's as a result of you, right? Setting up all these little things that kind of display because of the lack of, I guess, things taken up. I can't think of the right word there, but the things taken on of one of the girls of being not going back home, not talking to her parents, not remembering or observing these things and kind of being too focused on the present moment and clouded in that sense and not actually reflecting back on where things originated from and then things along those lines, right? She completely clouds herself going into the future and forgets all of this and then becomes corrupts herself in a way of wanting to push her ideals and dreams and hopes of this business and what they can turn this into onto her partner. And instead of just kind of flowing with what you initially did, I think they wrapped it up perfectly as well by showcasing us going into the previous memory there of that photo and showing us that she literally was the one who presented the idea of, oh, it would be cool if we just had a little shop. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just enough to like see some smiles on people's faces and stuff like that, right? And one of them held true to the values of what they wanted, but the one who came up with the idea and presented these things to start with completely changed up and lost her way along the way. And it's just really, really excellent. I like how they did it like a lot because it's so good of storytelling. It can be done in such poor ways, not even poor ways. It'd still be a nice wholesome story by the end if they just did something very simplistic and made it like a friendship thing along the way, right? But instead they turned it into something so much more, which was so beautiful, I guess, to see done. Really, really cool. We open the episode up as we usually kind of do in a way of just showcasing what exactly the new job that we're taking on is. It's really interesting to me to showcase the way that they are here though, because it allows us to understand they're in a business of just doing things like this in photos, and it doesn't seem like they have a bigger purpose. I thought that we would be in that business kind of showcasing like, oh, there's a bigger purpose at the end of the day of what we're doing and we're trying to achieve some sort of goal, but instead this is literally just our job. So that's rather interesting to me. I wonder if it just became our job because we have these special abilities, or if they're somehow given to us or you can somehow obtain them. That might not be something that ever really comes into play here, but I'm just really curious if one of those things is the case. Regardless, we're in a business specifically to do this and to change things. So it's almost in a sense of like somebody could have done something really fucked up, but it seems like we're going to take the route of just taking on whatever job that we kind of can get here. I mean, it might not. They might have morals in this sense, right? And not want to like do things like that. But it seems like also at the end of the day, this could just be one of those jobs where they just kind of take things on and then do what they have to based on what they were instructed, right? And leave it at that. Interested to kind of know, get the bit of a rundown of exactly everything that kind of went on, trying to get more of a rundown in here as well of exactly the situation that goes on. We get some really interesting play between our main two here of like, don't do things behind my back, oh, don't hide things, oh, don't try, and like just the usual discussion, right? But it's interesting because it could be setting things up along the lines, and also the story itself displayed itself between two girls who kind of had a rift in their relationship, and then it starts getting our main two here to question things about themselves and how fragile things between them could be. be if something changed drastically, or they had a differing opinion based on things, if they would continue to work together, if they would as a result have issues with each other, right? Them playing playful here, and then him just doing the paper and rock thing is really, really funny. I like that a lot. Us going into the photos here, this is also where we learned at some point throughout this episode, I wasn't even aware of, I think they actually said it last episode, now that I think about it, is you only go into the person who took the photo. So it's not you can kind of choose if there's multiple people in the situation, or you can like observe whoever you want. You can only observe things based on who took that photo, was able to kind of see within those 12 hours, past or present. Really, really cool. Anyways, we set it up. There's a lot of good setup here, such as things about going back home, such as how things happen back in college, right? These are things that I talked about beforehand regarding all of this. We're trying to watch her now and trying to pick up on things. And then we have the other moment of like, oh, you know, you already know what this thing is. Why are you, you know, so focused on this? Kind of foreshadowing in a way, like she's involved with it. Being able to, before we get our grand opening in a way, having her eat the noodles, then being able to split it as a result here. A really cute moment, but sets up also the specific line of her being like, I'm doing this for seeing the happy look on your face, for seeing the excitement and the joy of eating this, right? Which it puts our values, I guess, into perspective of one character just wants something as simple as that, which this is a very real thing that happens. There's plenty of people I know who like literally don't want like all the glitz and glamour that can come with like being an incredible chef or something, or create like this massive empire of a business, right, in this chain that they literally just enjoy doing what they do because it makes people happy. It makes like something as simple as that, right? And they don't want to ever have to sacrifice potential quality and things along those lines of going on a bigger scale, right? Really enjoyable just to see kind of how they did here, having to share the noodles as well, which is something that we see flashed at the end, kind of puts it into perspective again. Really, really cute. We start flashing through photos here and trying to learn things, but then we start realizing, shit, we're not really obtaining anything along the way here. This is really cool too, because it also shows us that if we have multiple photos, we can go into it. We're not restricted to being into this for a full 12 hours or any sense. We're not restricted to doing this. How they get out of them, I don't think it really matters, because Buddy just fucking disappears. But I'd be really curious to see exactly if there's a way that they have to force themselves out, or if they have to wait till the full time limit's up. I don't know. Regardless, fail after fail after fail, but then slowly remember things here and here. Here we go. We talk about the parents and not going back home, and just slowly seeing that while one of them's absorbed in work and trying to constantly make things better, but the other one's just trying to connect on a more emotional, more personal level. Or struggling even more, not able to get this, worried about too much about the business and the design and stuff. And the other one's just trying to take things a little bit slower here, tasting things, trying to expand themselves, while the other is not even present because the other one doesn't care about that as much, right? Or she is present, but she ends up leaving here because she doesn't want to have anything to do with this. This isn't her vision. This isn't her route. I like this idea too, where we get this other photo and he's like, there's nothing here, just give up on it. And Buddy's like, just because there's no hope or you don't see any doesn't mean that there isn't. We could piece something together that maybe you don't see. Like maybe we're smarter. Maybe we can figure out things because we'll go different routes, like he did, checking her bag, like something that probably didn't happen during the previous moment, like a memory and stuff from this photo that he was able to kind of see. Being able to take this photo, but finding out it was taken by somebody different. So now you get a full different shift in perspective and being able to observe through somebody else's lens, having issues here again, pushing ideals and values onto other people, pushing dreams and things that you aspire for onto others, but not really focused on what they want, assuming that they want the same as you. And you guys are both have the same interest at the end of the day when you don't at all. Really shitty thing, because that's something that really can affect people, and that's something that really forces people to separate. Sometimes the best thing in these situations is to just kind of distance yourself and separate yourself from that situation completely at that point too, not even separate it just in that moment and come back later, but just realize you're on two different paths and you're never really going to come to an agreement or connect on something here, and it might just be better to split, which is something that a lot of people struggle to throughout life and always find issues with. And I think the fact that she was able to realize this and kind of just put it into words here, this isn't what we want, we're not on the same path, let's just go different ways. One of them kind of just reaching out, be like, give me the recipe, give me all this, I need to make this bigger. But her realizing, like, one, she already knows it, so the fact that she's acting like this, that's probably in her mind, but also just the fact, like, no, we're doing it for different reasons, I'm good. I think there's a bit more behind this that I'm not actually picking up on, or the reasons why she was so against giving it to her. It could just be like a thing of like her trying to take over this thing that she loves, and then her own specialty that she kind of has in a way kind of goes out the window and isn't as unique anymore, and she no longer feels like she has that one thing about her, that aspect about her that's so special and different, and she's going to kind of lose it along the way if she just gives this out and it goes global in some sort of sense, right? Her talking about, I'm going to restart, I'm going to do this how I want to do this now, you're not going to hold me back, I'm going to do this, we have different paths that we want to go. Really, really cool. I just love the way that it was kind of presented here, and then him being able to reflect through memories and stuff and realize some of this other things that were going on. I like her wallpaper or her screensaver or whatever just being this. Really, really cool, just to show us what might be coming next. But then being able to go through the bag and find these things, find out specifically, oh, she's been going to this one location over and over, why has she been going here so much? Made me think like she's been scouting this area, thinking about this for a long time, but that's not the case at all. Oh, let me think about this for a second. There's something there that's so special. We find out through the taxi driver, because he hears so many things and knows so much stuff, right? That's why these guys are always so cool. That's why Odd Taxi is such a good fucking show. Watch that if you haven't. Having somebody who obtains all this memory and this knowledge going through being a cab driver, really, really cool, because they can really, really mix things up and have a lot of stuff that they hold on to that they don't really express or tell anybody else. So this is something that he knows about. This small town, nobody really focuses too much on it, but they have a certain plant. They have something that is used as like a good thing when they grind it up and turn it into a powder. You can use this as an ingredient for something. And then she starts kind of thinking about like, oh, that would make sense. Why else would she be going there constantly, right? She doesn't really have a connection to it. So instead we kind of infer this as, oh, this is literally what she's using. This is why she's taking these trips. This is exactly what she's doing, which makes perfect sense. Last second here, we find, oh shit, there's a photo that we're now aware of. Oh, this could be really telling because it's back in the college days, back when things first started, which it literally was, the conversation that we had in the first scene between them. This will take us right back to the roots. We might actually be able to figure out some stuff here. Him wanting to go back, but his buddy not letting him, and then him just giving himself a high five and forcing it on away. Really, really funny how that worked. But this is where it all kind of unfolds. We start talking about, oh, you should go into this. It would be something about management and learning how to, like, all this stuff goes. But one of the girls takes it very serious. Oh, maybe I could go into that in a way while she's just trying to like play it off like a joke. And oh, I guess we could start a shop. The other girl can take this and maybe go to school or do something along those lines that can help her run this business and help them a bit more. Then they start talking about here, oh, my parents gave me this, gives you reflections back to exactly where she was at time as a child, like learning about her where she came from and the pieces and stuff that start to connect at the end of the day, understanding that the one girl who doesn't remember anymore is the one who presented this to begin with. She's the one who started it all. Having the ideas behind the values that we should uphold while trying to create this land and while trying to create this business and this shop that we're going to end up doing. But she ended up losing herself along the way, as we said. It really comes full circle here as she starts kind of like breaking down, and I think she was crying, but kind of probably laughing at herself in a way and understanding, oh, I fucked up here. I should have realized this. No wonder I didn't realize this all along. It's something that I had in the palm of my hands this whole time, and I wasn't able to kind of get it. Being able to make that trip back home and probably piecing it together. This girl's going to be here. This is the native area of this. So of course she's going to be here. She wanted to restart somewhere. So where else would be a better place for her to go? But also piecing together, I haven't been home in ages. Maybe I should go back home. It looks like a long ass fucking time since she's been home too. All kind of came together really, really well. Something that really got me nervous, it was actually the telling of the lady what the secret really is, because then it's like, oh, this lady who's been kind of a piece of shit and forcing herself onto somebody else is going to be able to get this and then ruin this other girl's life and her business in a way, as this giant chain and brand is going to kind of take over. It could cause problems that come up at the end of the day here, but that wasn't the case at all. And I don't think they even cared, because that's probably not in their business to worry about how it's going to affect other people. They more so are just doing what they're hired to do at the end of the day. We end things off really well with the girl coming down, taking the bowl, and leaving us and our main two characters with, I can't go to a shot here, but leaving us with one to kind of have to split between each other, kind of how our story started here on this job that we went on. Great. Yeah, it's so good. It's really, really good. I don't know how else to describe that. I love the contrast that we have between some stories being able to end up good, some being able to end up bad, understanding the intricacies that can kind of come between them too. It's like Death Parade in a way almost, where like you might not understand everything at first, but then you can start piecing things little to little together through memories that you're using, and then somebody also has to kind of act as a intermediate in the way and decide which direction, if you should go up or down, right, at the end. really cool. But instead, this one, it's just kind of changing things in the present day where people are still technically still around and can cause things really bad. And you can kind of ruin people's lives at the end of the day if you fuck shit up, like we saw in the first episode. So it's a really interesting concept how they're going to continue to present this. And I wonder if some of the stuff here, such as these girls, or such as the guy that we found who ended up killing the girl, or we believe to at least in the first episode, like I wonder if any of them come back up and we're gonna have to deal with them at some sort of point. Especially also the relation between our main two guys here, if they're gonna have some sort of butting of heads at a moment because one of them does something that the other shouldn't, or one of them finds out that somebody's hiding something that they shouldn't, and it causes problems that could really affect things. Really feel like we're gonna run into that, and I feel like this was a perfect episode for us to kind of showcase that. Two people who go on different paths or have different visions for something can ultimately split, even if things seem like they're going so well at some moment and you get into arguments and things just change, right? This could very well happen. I think this could be a perfect way for them to kind of foreshadow what could be to come. Whether they end up making up as we see at the end of the story or they don't at the end of the day, what happens? I'd be rather interested to see the direction that it takes. Absolutely love this so far, though. Thank you very much if you made it all the way to this point. Please leave any thoughts or comments or just anything about this episode or series. Really would mean a lot, and I would love to read through them and just see what people are thinking. Gonna be all from me, though. Thank you very much if you watched. Please leave a like and subscribe to mean a lot to me. Feel free to check out the other videos in the channel. I will be back for episode 3 very soon. You guys have a good one, though. See ya.